The first time she hinted that I wasn't the right match for her work functions, I brushed it off like a joke. We were in the kitchen that evening. Her hair still damp from the shower, eyeliner half done, teetering on those red heels that gave her an extra 2 inches over me. She moved with the kind of distracted energy people have when they're rehearsing the night ahead. She poured her coffee, leaned in, kissed my cheek, and with a laugh said, "It's just the way you are sometimes. You know, it's not really your vibe." I smiled back, let it slide. I figured it wasn't worth making a big deal of it. I told myself she meant nothing by it. I'd always been the quiet one anyway, the man behind the camera, the guy carrying her jacket, the half shadow in her social media posts. I thought that's what love was, letting her shine, staying in the wings while she took the stage. We'd been married 8 years, and up until that night, I had never missed one of her important evenings. But that time I stayed home, cracked open a beer, flipped on the game, and convinced myself she just wanted a boundary between business and home. The second time was different. Sharper. We were crawling through evening traffic when she dropped it like she was commenting on the weather. "So you don't need to come to the holiday gala this year. I told everyone you'd be away on business." I turned my head, caught off guard. "Why?" Her eyes stayed locked on the road. "Because last time you were awkward. And this is a really high-profile event. I just don't want to feel embarrassed." That landed. Not the content, though that stung plenty, but the tone. Like she was managing me, not loving me. Like I was some clumsy little brother who couldn't be trusted to behave. That night I sat in my office with the lights off, staring at the photo of us on our wedding day. Her hand gripping my arm, her face glowing like she'd never let me go. Now she wanted distance. Now I was something to be hidden. So I started watching. Really watching. Her phone buzzing at midnight with names I'd never seen. More and more nights she worked late. The perfume that lingered on her when she came home wasn't the one I'd bought her. Once, passing by the bathroom, I heard her humming while getting ready for another company party. That soft, content sound of a woman in love. But it wasn't with me. I didn't confront her. Not then. Because I had my own history. One she seemed to forget. A decade earlier I'd built and sold a software company for more than most people make in 3 lifetimes. I'd poured the profits into quiet investments, companies where my name didn't appear, but my influence did. One afternoon, I decided to dig. Her firm wasn't huge, about 150 employees, but it had a reputation, a polished client list, and healthy profits. The kind of boutique marketing shop that prided itself on exclusivity. I went through their filings, traced their debts. Cassandra Stratton, her boss, held the largest share but not enough to prevent someone like me from stepping in. Someone with patience. Someone with capital. The idea didn't come as anger. Not at first. It was more curiosity. What happens if I stop living in the background? What happens if I step into the light she's been keeping from me? 6 weeks later, I was shaking Cassandra's hand in a private dining room. A bottle of Cabernet breathing between us. She didn't know me as Melissa's husband. To her, I was just another investor with an interest in boutique firms. I already knew where their financial walls were thin, where pressure could turn opportunity. "I can offer you 20% above market," I told her. No fuss. No client disruption. Just a clean deal. She studied me over her glass. "And what do you want in return?" "Control," I said simply. The paperwork closed not long after. On the surface, it looked like a merger. In truth, I'd bought them outright. The email invite to the company's annual gala still came, sent automatically by the events coordinator. Melissa never mentioned it to me. 3 days before the event, she breezed through the front door with a garment bag slung over one arm and a black dress hugging her curves. "Got my outfit for Friday," she said, eyes bright. "It's going to be huge this year. Clients, press, everyone. Please don't take this the wrong way, but it's better if you don't come." I smiled faintly. "Sure. Wouldn't want to embarrass you." Friday night, I walked into the ballroom an hour late. Crystal chandeliers glowed overhead. Jazz murmured through the speakers, and the crowd was polished to a shine. I wore a navy suit, no tie, confident enough to belong without signaling I cared. She didn't notice me at first. She was laughing at something Cassandra said. her hand resting too casually on the arm of a coworker she'd mentioned once in passing. Fit. Smug. The type who spends more hours in the gym than in meetings. But Cassandra noticed me. Her eyes flickered, confusion, recognition, then an unease she couldn't mask. The MC was just stepping to the mic, preparing to introduce the leadership team, when I walked forward and took it instead. Good evening, I began, my voice cutting through the quiet that fell. Most of you don't know me. My name is Daniel Cole. As of last month, I'm the new majority owner and CEO of Stratton & Company. The air shifted. Conversations died mid-sentence. Melissa's smile froze into something brittle. Cassandra's glass stalled halfway up. I'm here tonight, I continued. Not just to celebrate what this company has achieved, but to talk about what comes next. Growth. Opportunity. A future where talent like yours isn't limited by resources, but matched by them. I kept it short, 5 minutes, no more. Just enough. When I stepped off stage, the room was still buzzing with the weight of it. Melissa found me later on the balcony, her face tight. What the hell was that? She hissed. I sipped my drink. An introduction. Your boss seemed to forget one. Her voice was sharp, panicked. You bought the company? Why would you? I met her eyes, steady. Because you told me not to come. Her mouth opened, then closed, nothing coming out. I let the silence work before I added, softer, but heavier than anything I'd said on stage. You've spent months treating me like I'm some embarrassment you need to hide. I've spent those same months asking myself if the woman I married is even still here. She flinched, her mask cracking for a second. This isn't how you fix things. I set my glass down, turned away from her and said, I'm not here to fix things. I said it softly. I was there because I was tired of standing outside the room where my own wife acted like I didn't belong. That night changed something. People who'd barely acknowledged me before were suddenly eager to shake my hand, to ask questions. Cassandra tried to chat, but I could see the calculation behind every word. Melissa stayed by my side for a while, stiff and uneasy, before slipping away to the bar. I let her go. Owning the company didn't fix my marriage. It only highlighted what had already been broken. But it gave me something else. It reminded me that I wasn't bound to the quiet corner role she'd placed me in. The awkward husband, tolerated but unseen. A month later, Melissa left. She told me she couldn't stay married to her boss. I didn't argue. I signed, kept the company, and returned to building something that was mine again. The framed wedding photo still hangs in my office. She's smiling in it, holding on to me like she never would let go. But now, when I look at it, I remember the night she told me not to come. And the night I walked in anyway, not as her escort, but as the man who owned the room. The Monday after the gala, I spent most of the day behind a closed office door. I'd claimed the corner suite, the one Cassandra used to occupy, replacing her heavy walnut desk with something sleek, glass and steel. Melissa didn't appear. Technically, she wasn't on my payroll, but I knew she was staying out of sight. Around noon, my assistant buzzed. Melissa Cole here to see you. She walked in like it was enemy ground, arms crossed, face hard. So CEO, she said. Was that the plan all along? No, I told her. At first it was curiosity. Then it became an opportunity. She gave a sharp, bitter laugh. You bought my company just to prove you belonged in my world. I leaned back. Melissa, I was in this world before you even sent your first resume. The only difference is I never needed to announce it. Her eyes burned. So this was payback. I shook my head. No. It was a reminder for both of us. The weeks after were taught in ways only power shifts can be. The leadership team adjusted quickly. Money makes people adapt. But Melissa and I carried a quiet chill. She stopped coming home some nights. I didn't ask questions. I didn't need to. One evening, while reviewing old files, I found her name flagged in a client report. Concerns about inappropriate conduct, dated 2 months before I bought the company. I didn't get angry. I wasn't even surprised. I was just done. When the divorce papers came, they were straightforward. She asked for nothing but her freedom. We signed in silence. No theatrics, no drama, just the quiet end of something that had been unraveling for a long time. Taking control of the company changed me more than I'd imagined. It stopped being about her. It became about me proving, to myself, that I could still step into any room and command it. That I could build, decide, and lead. Some nights, when the office is empty and the city lights stretch across the glass, I remember that first moment under the chandeliers. The look on her face when I said, "I'm the new CEO." It wasn't triumph I felt then. It was clarity. And clarity doesn't leave you. 3 months after the gala, her name surfaced again during a quarterly leadership review. 2 major accounts had quietly walked away, citing boundary issues and unprofessional behavior. I already knew. The man I'd seen her laughing with at the party, the one who spent more time at the gym than at his desk, wasn't just a fling. He was also on payroll. The HR investigation I'd authorized uncovered everything. Messages, receipts, late-night meetings no contract could justify. From a business standpoint, I had to decide. From a personal standpoint, I already had. The next Monday, I called a closed-door meeting with HR, legal, and Melissa. She came in with her defenses ready. Before she could speak, HR slid a thick folder across the table. "Melissa, we've documented multiple policy violations, including breaches of client trust. You can resign effective immediately, or we'll move forward with termination for cause." She turned to me, eyes sharp. "This is you." I didn't deny it. "This is the company. I just signed the papers." Her voice dropped. "You've been planning this since before you bought us." I held her gaze. "No. I've been paying attention since before I bought you." She chose resignation. I knew she would. Melissa could live with a lie, but not a scandal. 2 days later, the man she'd been seeing was gone too. Not because of her, but because I'd sold his department to a smaller agency that didn't see him as worth the expense. Life after that grew quiet. No more strained dinners. No more invitations where I wasn't wanted. Just the work, the company's growth, and a clear view from my office window of the city I now owned a larger piece of. I only saw her once more. Midtown restaurant, the kind of place where people go to be seen. She was at the bar, laughing too loud, dressed to be noticed. When her eyes met mine, her smile faltered. I nodded, polite. For a moment, I saw it in her expression. That memory of the night under the chandeliers. The moment she realized the man she tried to sideline had walked in and taken the room. She didn't come over. She didn't need to. We both knew how the story ended. Not with rage, not with revenge. Just with ownership. Of the company, of the room, of myself.